All right, guys. So let's get to formatting. Actually, before we do that, let's just throw in a bit of dummy data for these lines, and then probably not in a video, but offline, I'm going to fill in about 20 lines worth of data. I'm not going to bore you with sitting here doing that, but let's make these all January, and then I'll make the ones going forward a couple different months. Let's just say this was the second, and we're going to fix the formatting of that in the second. The 10th, the 12th, and whatever the 20th, let's say. Obviously we play every day, again, more than that. We said this was a single table tournament. Maybe we played this at Casino, Arizona. That's a local casino here. Actually, it's called Talking Stick, so whatever, it does not matter. A spin ago, we probably played it on, and we played it at Ignition. So this would be live, this would be online, and then so spin and go. Let's see, description. We could just say this was a spin and go. And then here, this was a live single table tournament. If there's no guarantee, there's nothing special about it. A lot of times the online ones have a minimum guarantee, etc. Or sometimes you play like a bounty tournament, things like that. I would write that in here. If there's literally nothing special about it, it's just a normal single table tournament. The bounty ones I would denote just because they do, again, they function a little bit different, not completely. They're still multi-table tournaments, but the point with this field is to not get too crazy. Like, you want to have some commonality between, so you can run a report and say, okay, for all the spin and goes I play. So if you made each one unique, then it makes it really difficult to report on it. But at the same time, if you play a lot of different guaranteed ones, maybe you just use guaranteed tournament and you don't say how much it is. Anyways, nonetheless, so we have our fields. Let's do some formatting now. Okay, so first thing, let's format our headers. Getting tired of seeing this kind of boring outlook. So if we highlight the whole row, the main things I like to do, I like to bold things, I like to center them, and then I like to put a little underline on it, but I'm not going to. And the reason is I always end up doing that and I end up losing it. And the reason I lose it is we're going to do something called freeze pane. So as this list grows, and I have one master list, it just goes on and on and on. This is where I capture data. It makes it easy to report when it's all in one location. But you see, as we scroll down, we lose that header. So what I want to do is freeze this header row. And the way you do that is if you go to actually the data tab, and then actually I'm incorrect. You go to the view tab, there we go. And you go to freeze panes right here and drop that arrow down. You have a couple different options. In our case, we just need to freeze the top row. So I just click that. Now you may notice there's like a slightly darker gray line there, and that's why I didn't bother to underline it, because if I had underlined it, it gets replaced anyways with that. You will see though now if we scroll down, that top row stays there, so we can always see our headers, which is nice. Okay, hit save. So we haven't bolded. The other thing I like to do, so I used to actually play quite a few. If I played online, I would play quite a few games during the day. Like maybe I play a cash game for 2 hours, then I play a bunch of quick, smaller tournaments. I used to break each day up with a solid line. So I would just come across, wherever too, and just put a bottom border, this right here, just to show you, and then I'd have the next day. Thing is though, for our example, so I'm going to undo that. I'm assuming you're not playing like multiple things a day. If you are, it's just a suggestion to maybe break it up. It's just a way to do that so you can single out any given day. Certainly not a necessity. Let's fix this date. So this we like, and then here though I want it to be the actual specific date. So what I would do, since this is going to go on and on, is highlight this whole row, drop this down, and go short date. I believe that's the right format. It is. So there you go. So if you're okay with that sort of format, that's the one to choose, the short date. Hit save again. Hours. This one I'm gonna format it to a number. See, it's, if you have a decimal, it shows it. If you don't, it doesn't. I kind of want it to always show, so I'm gonna put in the comma. So now it's always going to be 2 decimal points, which is perfect. Just creates it, looks a little bit nicer. Here I'm going to make this a little bit wider to accommodate that. Here I'm going to make this a little bit wider. This, fine. These are dollar amounts, right? All 3 of these. Actually, all 4 of these are dollar amounts. So let's make those dollar amounts. So I'm going to highlight all of these rows. I'm going to hit my $ format. Perfect. So there we go. We can see exactly, up to you if you want to hide your decimal points on any of these. I tended to like to see, I like to have a pretty specific idea. Um, Again, though, if you don't want to see the dollar signs, you could highlight all those. If you use this little function here, it's decrease decimal. I mean, it definitely cleans things up, looks a little bit nicer. You lose the insight. Either way, I'll leave it off for now. But and you can certainly bring it back with that function right there, increase decimal. I think that's, so let's see, finished is just going to be a number in the money and then notes. So that's about it. I'm going to decrease this column just so that we can kind of see that column. And then that's it. Everything fits on one nice sheet in terms of the width, other than your notes would go off the screen. And then we'll have just an ongoing list of data. So guys, what I'm going to do, we'll cut this video off. Since this sheet is basically ready to go now, really this are the fields that I would track, and then we'll be able to generate some different reports off of this. What I'm going to do is stop this video. I'm going to fill in dummy data for about 20 different events. And then when we come back in the next video, I'll just quickly show you what that is, and then we can start building the reports.